Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt that sudden chill when she looks at you, but her eyes don't match her words anymore? That quiet sinking feeling in your chest when you know something's wrong, but she keeps saying you're just overthinking. That right there is not paranoia. It's your intuition begging you to listen. When a woman cheats, the first thing she says to you isn't, "I'm sorry." It's deflection. She'll say, "Why don't you trust me?" Or, "You've changed." She wants to flip the mirror, make you the problem. Because deep down, she knows guilt is easier to hide when she puts you on trial. Before we go deep into the psychology behind it, take a second, subscribe, and like this video. Because what I'm about to share isn't just theory. It's raw female psychology most men never get to hear unfiltered. See? Women are emotional strategists. When a woman cheats, she doesn't start by confessing. She starts by rewriting the story. She'll claim you've been distant, that you don't make her feel loved, that she didn't mean for it to happen. But here's the truth. She's trying to soften your perception of her betrayal. She's shaping how you'll remember it before you even understand what's happening. Her first words after cheating are never about accountability. They're about survival. She fears two things more than losing you: losing your respect and losing her ability to control how you see her. That's why she rushes to say things like, "It didn't mean anything," or "It just happened." She's not explaining. She's deflecting emotion, hoping to keep your anger below the surface long enough for her to escape the consequences. And here's where most men break. You start doubting yourself instead of the story she's spinning. You replay every fight, every moment she seemed cold, every time she said she needed space. You start thinking, maybe it's my fault. And that's exactly what she wants. Because guilt is the perfect cage. So remember this. When she cheats, her first words aren't about what she did. They're about what she wants you to believe. Here's what most men don't understand. A woman's first reaction after cheating isn't always about guilt. It's about self-preservation. She knows that if the truth explodes in front of you, everything she's built, her image, her control, her narrative shatters instantly. So instead of confessing, she hides behind emotional confusion. She'll say things like, "I just feel lost," or "I don't know what I want anymore." Sounds harmless, right? But those words are code. They're the psychological smoke she uses to hide the fire she started. When she cheats, she's already rewritten the timeline in her head. In her story, she's not the villain. She's the victim of emotional neglect, misunderstanding, or loneliness. She'll convince herself that you pushed her away, that she was drifting, that it just happened because she wasn't happy. This mental gymnastics isn't for your benefit, it's for hers. It's how she sleeps at night. You see, women don't like to see themselves as betrayers. So, she paints her betrayal as a reaction, not an action. And that's why her first words are so critical. They're a reflection of the lie she's telling herself, not the truth you deserve to hear. When she says, "We've been fighting so much lately," she's not explaining, she's justifying. When she says, "I didn't want to hurt you," she's not being kind, she's protecting her own ego. And if you confront her directly, notice this pattern. She doesn't deny, she distorts. She'll say things like, "Why are you being so paranoid?" "You're just insecure." It's emotional manipulation in its purest form. Because if she can make you question your reality, she never has to face hers. That's why in that first conversation, your reaction determines everything. If you chase, beg, or explode, you feed her sense of power. But if you go silent, if you respond with calm detachment, it terrifies her because it breaks her illusion of control. So the next time a woman who betrayed you starts with excuses, understand she's not seeking forgiveness. She's testing if she still owns your mind. Don't hand it back to her. There's a moment right after the lie breaks when you see her face change. She's caught, and for the first time her mask starts to slip. That's when her words shift from deflection to damage control. She'll say, "I didn't want to lose you," or "It didn't mean anything." But those words aren't for you. They're for her conscience. She's trying to rewrite reality fast enough that it feels less monstrous. See, a woman's guilt after cheating doesn't work like a man's. Men feel guilt when they realize they've done wrong. Women feel guilt when they realize they've been discovered. Before that, she's rationalizing everything, convincing herself it was emotional, circumstantial, even meant to be. But the moment you see through her, that self-created fantasy collapses, and she scrambles to save what's left of her image in your eyes. She'll cry, not because she feels your pain, but because she can see it. She mirrors your heartbreak to make you believe she's equally shattered. But if you look closely, her tears are timed. They appear right when she senses you're about to walk away. That's not remorse. That's strategy. Emotional persuasion. The kind that disarms even the strongest men because it looks real enough to confuse your instincts. And she knows your heart. She knows you still love her. So she leans on that love like a weapon cloaked in vulnerability. "Please don't leave me," she'll whisper. "I made a mistake." But deep down, she's not ready to lose the security you provide, even if she's already replaced the intimacy somewhere else. You see, most cheating women don't want to lose everything. They want to keep both worlds. The emotional safety of you and the thrill of someone new. This is why her first apology feels hollow, robotic. It's not coming from truth, it's coming from fear. Fear of being seen for who she really is in that moment. Someone capable of deception, manipulation, and selfishness. So when she finally says, "I love you," it won't happen again. Listen carefully to her tone. If her voice trembles, but her eyes are calculating, you're not hearing love. You're hearing survival. Now here's where the psychology gets darker. Because after the initial guilt and tears fade, something inside her shifts. The fear of losing you begins to compete with a new emotion, resentment. Not towards herself, but towards you, the man she betrayed. You see, when a woman cheats and you find out she doesn't just feel shame, she feels exposed. And the human mind has a cruel defense mechanism for that. When someone sees the ugliest parts of us, we start to hate them for it. That's why after you discover the truth, she may suddenly act cold, distant, almost like you're the one who did something wrong. She'll say things like, "You'll never forgive me anyway," or, "You're making it worse." What she's really doing is transferring the guilt. If she can make you angry enough, she can feel justified again. That's why arguments after betrayal feel so twisted. You end up defending yourself in a situation where you're the one betrayed. It's psychological projection at its purest form. She can't bear to face herself, so she projects her shame onto you. You become controlling, toxic, or cold. This allows her to rewrite the story in her head. Now she's the victim again. She didn't cheat because she was selfish. She cheated because you made her unhappy. It's a powerful narrative because it protects her self-image. And if you're an emotionally intelligent man, this is the most dangerous stage for you because your compassion, your ability to understand pain, becomes her leverage. She'll twist it until you start comforting the very person who broke you. You'll find yourself saying, "I just want us to heal," while she silently thinks, "Good, he's still under my control." This is how emotional manipulation works at its deepest level. It's not about lies anymore. It's about control through emotional confusion. She'll feed you just enough tenderness to keep you from walking away while secretly resenting you for reminding her of what she's done. And the tragic part, many men stay, not because they're weak, but because they're still fighting for the version of her that existed before the betrayal. But that version died the moment she crossed that line. There comes a point where you realize she's not the same woman you once loved. Her voice, her laughter, even her affection feels scripted. That's not your imagination. It's the emotional aftershock of betrayal, and it rewires everything between you. When she cheated, something inside her changed permanently. She crossed a boundary she can't emotionally uncross, and now every word she says is filtered through guilt, fear, and ego protection. This is where her mind enters what psychologists call emotional fragmentation. She's living two identities, the one that betrayed you and the one that wants to be forgiven. And these two selves can't coexist peacefully, so she oscillates. One day she's crying, promising to rebuild. The next she's cold, defensive, or distant. It's not random mood swings, it's her internal conflict bleeding into your reality. She'll say things like, "I don't know why I did it," or, "It just happened." But you have to understand those aren't answers. They're escape routes. Because if she truly faced the truth that she chose to betray loyalty for validation, she'd have to destroy the version of herself she's trying to protect. And very few people have the courage to do that. So instead, she rewrites. She rebrands the betrayal as a mistake, hoping repetition will turn that lie into something she can live with. But every time she looks at you and sees the pain she caused, her mind burns. That's why she might become distant, even irritated. Your sadness reminds her of her shadow, the side she wants to forget. And this is the brutal truth most men miss. After cheating, a woman doesn't just lose your trust, she loses her innocence in the relationship. And once innocence dies, love becomes negotiation. She'll try to make it up to you, but it'll never feel real because now everything feels transactional. You'll sense the difference, even if she hides it well. And slowly, she'll begin to detach emotionally first, then physically. You'll start feeling like a stranger sleeping beside someone who used to be your home. It's not your fault, you didn't push her to this. You just believed in someone who stopped believing in herself long before she betrayed you. Here's the truth most men never want to face. When a woman cheats, the relationship doesn't die because of the act itself. It dies because of what happens after. It dies in the silence that follows the tears. It dies when trust becomes a performance. It dies when every "I love you" sounds like a cover story. You start noticing the small things, the way she avoids your eyes, how her tone feels rehearsed when she says she wants to fix things. She'll plan dates, cook your favorite meal, maybe even cry in your arms. But it all feels hollow because true remorse doesn't come with a script. It comes with stillness, accountability, and a willingness to face your pain without running from it. And that's what most women who cheat can't do. They want forgiveness, not reflection. They want peace, not truth. But let me tell you something powerful. Her cheating doesn't define you. It exposes her. It shows how disconnected she's become from integrity, from empathy, from emotional courage. You gave your heart. She gambled with it. But that's not your shame to carry. And if she ever says, "You'll never find someone like me," understand, she's right. You won't. Because women who cheat and then rewrite the story aren't rare, but they're replaceable. What's rare is a man who can take heartbreak, bleed through it, and rise sharper, calmer, and more self-aware than before. That's who you can become. If you stop chasing explanations and start chasing clarity, forgiveness doesn't always mean staying. Sometimes it means freeing yourself from her narrative, walking away not with bitterness, but with wisdom. Because the strongest men aren't the ones who punish betrayal. They're the ones who refuse to be defined by it, so take this as your moment. Stop replaying her excuses, stop dissecting her every word. Let her keep her version of the story. It's the only way she can live with herself. But you don't need her apologies anymore. You need your peace. And if you're ready to understand female psychology on a deeper level, the hidden motives, the emotional triggers, the real patterns behind women's behavior, subscribe right now because I'll keep revealing the truths most women will never say out loud, but every man deserves to know.